Going on Jerome's undisclosed location, raw, real parking lot rant. And, of course, everything this offseason circles around Kirk Cousins. What the hell is going to happen with Kirko? He's a free agent, though. Is he going to be back on the supposed hometown discount because he wants to end his career in Minnesota, or will he find greener pastures elsewhere? And I feel like Kirk has run the gauntlet of emotions with Vikings fans, where he came in, he was supposed to be the missing piece after the 2017 season, the team that went to the NFC title game with Case friggin' Keenum, and 3 years, $84 million, supposed to be that guy, but they never won the division under Zimmer. They won one playoff game, the wild card against the Saints, and it just sort of is what it is. And Kirk, it's kind of weird for Kirk because generally top 10 in their prime quarterbacks don't hit the free agent market. So it was very odd for him to come in, premium contract, a veteran laden locker room in 2018, and it was really awkward, the leadership and power dynamic. But eventually, a lot of those veterans got cycled out, became Kirk's team, and frankly, over the last 2 years, he's been playing some high-level football, and I feel like people that gave Kirk a hard time early on, I think they really came around and recognized that Kirk is playing at a high level. Kirk probably would have been an MVP finalist if he hadn't pop-locked and dropped it against the Packers at Lambeau. And I think a healthy Kirk definitely would have given the Lions a run for their money for the division. I truly believe that. But the whole thing is that even though Kirk, I feel like, has definitely won over a lot of fans in the court of public opinion, because early on it was just like, oh, he's money hungry, the 3 years 84, the 2 years 66, the 1 year 35, all of that, just money, and no results. And I mean, it is what it is. 6 seasons here with the Vikings, they've won the division once, they've gone to the playoffs twice, then they only have one playoff win. All right, now obviously you can't put all that on Kirk. Hashtag QB wins, as evidenced by Kirk playing lights out in the wild card game, but 4th and 8. Shouldn't have come down to that. How about you don't give up 31 points at home against the friggin' Giants? How about you do that, man? But I digress. And with Kirk, this really might be it with Kirk. And I feel like a lot of fans have really warmed up to him. The quarterback documentary helped. Him being the lovable, viral goober, the Coles Cash, the Kirko Chains thing, him in a whole bunch of commercials. I think that fans have really... And I think he's really endeared himself to fans. But if Kirk leaves, I feel like it tarnishes a lot of his Vikings career, where Kirk came in and he was all about the money, and he's been saying all the right things, right? I want to end my career in Minnesota, not shunning the idea of a hometown discount, and saying like, oh, I've been blessed to have some dollars in my pocket, and the whole thing of it's not about the money, it's about what the money represents and all that stuff. But if Kirk leaves, it really is about the money. And if Kirk is serious about winning a Super Bowl, if Kirk is serious about ending his career here in Minnesota, I mean, what more does he want? He's got an offensive-minded head coach in Kevin O'Connell, who he very clearly gets along with. And also, you got the best wide receiver in the game in Justin Jefferson. You have a young, up-and-coming, rising wide receiver, too, in Jordan Addison. You have two of the best tackles in the game when healthy in Darisaw and O'Neal. Hawkinson is going to be back, and he's a top 3 tight end. He's not 3. What more do you want, man? And also, it's clear that his family has been accepted and really ingrained themselves here in the great state of Minnesota. But what more else do you want? And I feel like the Vikings, at a certain point, they're like, okay, Kirk, we want you back, but it's got to make financial sense. So we want you back at up to X number of dollars. Say it's $35 million a year, right? If that's not enough, then that's on him. Right, so you can talk out one side of your mouth about how you want to end your career here, how you want to, how you're open to a hometown discount. But if you literally just go to the Falcons or the Steelers or the Patriots or wherever, and you maximize, again, I'm not going to poo-poo a player for getting his dollars, but at least be honest about it. Like Jalen Johnson saying, "I love Chicago, but I'm following the money," right? And don't try to honeypot us thinking that it's like, okay, Kirk wants to win a Super Bowl. He's going to take a little bit less, leave a little something on the table for Daniil and Justin Jefferson, and understand that the cap situation that the Vikings are in, basically his doing, as opposed to jumping ship for a couple nickels more. So Again, if Kirk is able to get like a 3-year, $150 million deal with 100 guaranteed, God bless him, respect. But I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of Vikings fans, even the ones that are on Kirk's side, I think that's going to turn off a lot of them. But it may be a blessing in disguise, because then Kirk may rip off the Band-Aid, make the Vikings make a decision and move on, because they have no other choice, because Kirk left. Because, like, hey, I understand I have a great situation here. I understand over the last year and a half I put up great numbers. I love JJ. JJ freaking loves me for whatever reason. But no, I'm just going to go to Pittsburgh and work with Arthur Smith and George Pickens. Or I'm going to go down to Hotlanta because my wife is from there. Or I'm going to go to New England because reasons. I don't know, man. But we'll see what happens. I feel like this is like the tenuous spot of contract negotiations, where you're almost predisposed to dislike the other side, treat them like the enemy, and then all of a sudden a deal gets done. It's like, hey, Paisan, we're back together again. Who knows? Who knows? But like I said, maybe Kirk will make the decision for the Vikings. Maybe he will sign elsewhere, and maybe that kickstarts the Vikings. Hey, we got to make a move. Hey, we're going to move up in the draft. Hey, we're going to find our quarterback of the future and start him right away. Go ahead. Go ahead. So, whatever happens with Kirk happens. Frankly, I think the only outcome I would not care for is if Kirk signs like a 3-year deal. That's about it. I want flexibility, and also I want the Vikings to go find their quarterback in one of the deeper quarterback drafts in NFL history. So we'll see what happens, man. But that's it. Raw, real car rant. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull, production value.